And that was Doreen Gensler reporting. You know, our country is in a serious crisis when it comes to weight gain and health. It's a struggle and source of confusion for many, many people. And with the holidays coming up, it is on top of the mind for a lot of people. Joining us now is food psychologist Michelle Leath, and she's got some solutions with her today. Welcome to the show, Michelle. It's good to have you here.
Good to be here.
First, I've got to ask, what is a food psychologist? What do you do exactly?
I'm actually a food psychology coach, and it sounds like it would be like asking food about its childhood.
Yeah.
But it's actually not. It's actually derived from the field of dynamic eating psychology, which looks at the powerful connection between our mental and emotional state and our body's ability to metabolize and digest and calorie burn a meal.
So it all ties together.
Very much so.
No kidding. Okay. We saw and heard in this last story that really metabolism does slow down with age. So that is something to keep in mind as well.
There are a lot of things that can slow your metabolism, and I'll share some of those with you.
Okay, sounds good. But first, let's talk about some statistics. You say that at any given time, 150 million Americans claim to be on a diet.
Yes. As you mentioned, I mean, it seems to be a major crisis in our country in terms of how many people struggle with food and eating and weight. We've got 150 million Americans claiming at any given time to be on a diet. 10 million people are on the rise with eating disorders. There's a major eating disorder epidemic.
And this is what I found really startling. 10 million women and only 1 million men suffer from eating.
Yeah, it tends
why the difference?
It tends to affect women more. There's so much in the media and our culture that puts a lot of pressure on women to achieve a certain ideal body type. But it is becoming more and more common with men.
Right, and over 90% of women report being dissatisfied with their bodies.
That just breaks my heart.
Sad.
I know. Yeah, and what's really interesting is, of the people who lose weight on a diet, 96 to 99% of those people gain it back within a year or two. So something's not working.
Why? Why is this?
You know, I think it's because a lot of the information that's out there that, our common beliefs around weight loss and what it takes to lose weight are incomplete.
Wow.
For example, most people think that, to lose weight, all they need to do is eat less and exercise more. And that's not entirely true. There's a lot more to the story.
Like what?
Well, as I mentioned, our mental state can have a really strong impact on our metabolism. And I think the last segment even covered that the metabolism can slow as you get older, but also when you don't eat enough or exercise too much, your body senses a starvation state and will actually slow metabolism. So that's part of it. Sometimes people just don't eat enough when they're on a diet and they continue to set themselves up with that circumstance. But even more so is the fact that, how you are eating. It's not just what you eat, but it's how you eat that can really make a difference.
So if you're eating fast, you might gain a little weight. So you're talking about maybe slowing down when we eat?
Exactly. It's the conditions under which we eat. So in our fast-paced society, we're eating on the run. It's fast eating. It's rushing through a meal. It's eating at your desk or in the car when you're on your way to work.
And this third point here, stressful thoughts and feelings, that causes a lot of weight gain
Absolutely,
as well.
because when our body is in a state of stress, we produce more cortisol, which is the stress hormone. And what that does is it tells the body to store more fat, particularly belly fat, and it tells the body to break down muscle. So those are two conditions that are totally contradictory to trying to lose weight. It's actually telling you to store weight. And in addition to fast eating, distracted eating, having stressful thoughts about eating can create the same effect in your body. So when you're judging yourself for eating or feeling guilty or, having shame about your body or even eating with people who stress you out, those kinds of things are triggering your body to store weight. So it's very, very much putting you at odds with your goals.
So it's not necessarily your body telling you, or not saying to you, eat more, but a lot of people eat when they're stressed just because it's there and it's something to do.
Yes.
So it's not really that. It's really something mental.
Right. And another reason we keep wanting to eat when we're stressed is because we're not really present when we're eating. So when you're stressed eating, you're not really paying attention and your body will continue to signal hunger because it hasn't registered the meal.
All right. And what can people do to shift this way of eating and thinking?
There's some really simple things that you can do that will can powerfully impact your metabolism. With Thanksgiving coming up, this is a great thing.
Michelle, let's talk about this.
So 3 things that you can do. Take a few deep, slow breaths before every meal. Ideally
okay.
5 to 10. Just a few deep inhales and exhales. What this does is it, number one, oxygenates your digestive system to be more effective. So think of it as having your vitamin O with every meal. The other thing you can do is just slow down. And you know, when you do that breathing and you try to relax, it actually short circuits the stress response that could be happening in your body already.
Okay.
So even start where you are. If you take 5 minutes for breakfast normally, stretch it to 10. You know, if you usually take 20 minutes for lunch, just see what you can do. Start where you are and try to slow down a little bit.
And this will really help you savor what you're eating too. That's so important, isn't
absolutely,
it? Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
And then the third thing I would say is just be kind to yourself. There's no perfect diet, you know. Give yourself permission to enjoy what you enjoy, and you know, embrace food as one of life's pleasures, and that's a great place to start.
It really is, especially with the holidays coming up. But do you find that if people deprive themselves, they're more hungry in the long run? So if I'm going to deprive myself this holiday season, I'm just, for Thanksgiving and Christmas, I'm just going to take it all back in again?
Yeah, and you know, again, when you actually deprive yourself, you put your body into a starvation response. So the worst thing you can do the day after a big meal is like skip breakfast and skip lunch and try to make up for it.
Oh.
Yeah, that's actually not a great scenario.
Okay, so if you are working out, let's say an hour a day, how many calories should you be taking in? Or does it depend on your body type?
It completely depends on your body type, your activity level, your age, so many different factors.
Okay, sounds fantastic. And you had mentioned that there are little things that you can do when eating. Do you find sometimes that you know of little tricks, or do you know of little tricks? For example, I cannot have a hamburger without having French fries, you see? So then what I started doing is just grabbing one French fry and taking a bite of that and then putting the other half down. I know that sounds gross. But anyway, instead of taking a handful and stuffing them in my mouth. Do you find that tricks like that work, or am I just kidding myself?
No, that's a great strategy. Enjoy your French fry. Like, really savor the French fry.
Okay.
You know, and take your time to eat the French fry, and that way, and don't feel guilty about it. Just say, hey, I really like the French fry. And again, you're keeping your body in a relaxed state to receive that food, and if you're actually really registering the pleasure from that, you'll be more likely, less likely, I should say, to overeat later.
And have you found that people come to you and just sitting down and talking to you really helps them out a lot?
Yes, because what we really do is explore their relationship with food and look at reducing the stressors in their life that are contributing to how they use food and also contributing to what's going on in their body, and really help them create a life and a relationship with food that's based on balance and freedom and fulfillment.
So you're a food and life coach, right?
Absolutely,
a little bit. And how can people get a hold of you?
They can visit my website, which is unlockyourpossibility.com.
Okay.
And I also have a new option for people who are looking to combat holiday weight gain and get through the season without throwing themselves under the bus.
Okay.
And they can learn more about that at seasontobreakfree.com.
Seasontobreakfree.com and unlockyourpossibilities.com. Those are the two websites. Michelle, thank you so much for being here.
Thank
we
you for
appreciate
having
it. What
me.
a great
My
conversation.
pleasure.
Stick around, everyone. More Central Valley Today when we come back.